Hello, anyone and everyone who may have stumbled upon this video. Welcome to my channel. I am Bronco Burns, and this is my very first YouTube video. Now, I'm pretty excited. I recently purchased a personal video recorder, and so I've been able to capture some 360 gameplay, and the first bit I'm going to share with you guys is a little commentary impressions on the Splosion Man beta. I got the key from Microsoft, and I've been playing it for a little while, and it's very similar to the original. Fans of the original are definitely going to feel right at home, and Splosion Man's got that same quirky personality with their own little twists as the original Mr. Splosion Man. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in. And like I said, this is the beta, and from my understanding, it's pretty much the trial game. It just has, I think, some added multiplayer functionality because that's one of the things they wanted to test they couldn't necessarily do internally. Oh, and here's a tutorial video. I believe I skip it, but it gives you an idea. New players and experienced players kind of guides you through the general gameplay of it, and explains those blue zip lines that you see Splosion Man gliding on here. But for the most part, so far, at least in this first level, those zip lines are the only new addition. The rest is just your standard exploding and blowing up computer equipment and turning poor scientists into fountains of meat. Oh, and something new is those checkpoints. No longer do you snap to where the checkpoint starts. It just kind of unlocks as you go by in a nice, cool confetti fashion. I do, and as far as these zip lines go, I do like them because, you know, they keep you moving, keep it kind of fast-paced. You can keep up a pretty good speed going. One of the things I noticed first when I started playing was the improved graphics. I believe Twisted Pixel calls this engine their Beard engine, and it has definitely improved over the first one, as far as it feels larger in scope and scale and everything. Oh, and I believe this is the first time we get to see any sort of boss type. Players of the original will recognize this guy. Yep. Evil Robot Man is back. A little damaged, a little beat up from his last encounter with a Splosion person. It seems like he might be out for revenge against their kind. I think this segment is just kind of, since it is the first level, it's kind of introductory. I feel that this is probably, they're just trying to give a player a taste of kind of all the different things to expect. It's still kind of that 2D gameplay, but it's more of the escape sequence. Well, also one thing I want to kind of point out is their use of these cinematics, or the little animations that play. They definitely seem to, it might just be because it's the first level and they're trying to introduce you to the game and the character, and those cinematics allow them to give Splosion Man, give you a better idea of her personality and stuff. But they do seem to be more frequent, those little cutscenes, which I don't mind because, as you saw, like there you land on the edge, and we're instantly, as soon as you regain control, you started on that edge, the camera just shifted and you kept going, so it's not jarring at all, and it doesn't take away from the immersion. If you're really trying to be Splosion Man, it's not going to interrupt that. Oh, and here players will see that the grenade is back. I imagine that'll be used in a similar fashion on flicking switches, killing scientists, or getting a big-ass robot out of your way if that's what the current situation needs.
Not so fast,
also, another thing with the engine, I noticed the dust kind of isn't real high quality there when it's falling, but the particles, like with the confetti, and when you hit the green barrels, you'll see that it almost explodes in a firework type fashion. And also here, the backdrop is no longer the stuffy lab. You're no longer going from one lab area to the next with the same textures in the background. and you can kind of see the like there's that fireworks I'm talking about, but you can kind of see in the background there, quick before it fades, the stuff in the distance was blurred. It was out of focus, which is kind of a neat touch. Adds to that feeling of depth. Oh, and here's a kind of a cool, neat thing. Kind of a introductory title screen for the boss, and Chip points out his weak spot. I really hope that that is consistent throughout the game with the various bosses that I'm sure you'll encounter. I like when games do that, so there's no question. Like typically, you just aim for the glowy spots. In general, that's just a kind of a video game rule, it seems. But it's always good. I like when they kind of tell you. But I guess Twisted Pixel games, boss fights in general, aren't too terribly difficult, typically. And they're not, I wouldn't say they're repetitive, but it's pretty easy, pretty simple to kind of get a hold of to recognize the pattern that the boss is following. Video games are all about pattern recognition. And here you see again, you dodge the fist, jump off the wall, explode in his face. And he throws his spinning blade thing at you, and you gotta dodge that. Oh, and here, this starts sort of a quick time event, and it's not too hard considering every button has the same exploding action. So just whenever you're prompted, just explode. But I like it. It's better than just a just a regular cutscene. It keeps the player involved, keeps them interacting with the game, which is always good. And here I love mashing the button, seeing them explode internally. And players of the original definitely that little segment, that little sequence is definitely reminiscent of the first one, which I'm not complaining at all. I love the first one; it was great. Oh, one of the interesting things, Splosion Man's much more clear in her vocals. That right there, you could hear her say, "What the heck are you?" And even in her ramblings as she's just running throughout the level, it's clear words. It's not just the jumbled ramblings like Mr. Splosion Man in the original game. Which kind of an interesting twist, gives you more insight into the character, I suppose. Oh, and here, counting up these coins, they're kind of seem to be an in-game currency that you can spend on unlockables such as concept art, videos, some audio tracks and stuff, all in the extras menu. Now here is the level select screen. I'm guessing this is just for World 1, but I really like the way they did this. It's more of a physical representation. You kind of get a better idea what to maybe expect later on in the game. At least a much better idea than what the just very basic rectangular GUI that they used in the last game for the level select. And as you can see, this is the lovely loading screen. You get some great dancing tips from Miss Splosion Man. Go ahead and fast forward here. Well, that concludes today's demo. As far as the full game, I'm really looking forward to it. I loved the original, and in general, I love Twisted Pixel games. Like I said many times during the video, the amount of character and personality that they can just inject to their games, so much that it radiates fun, is just incredible. And also, this, as I mentioned in the very beginning of the video, this is my very first one, so I imagine it's a little rough. I apologize, but it can only encourage you to come back again, see what I have later. I plan to do many more demos and walkthroughs like this one. And also reviews and just general impressions of what I think of games. So if you have any suggestions or recommendations, anything you would like to see, or if you have any questions even, hit me up in the comments, or you can message me on Twitter. I'm at Bronco Burns. I'd love to hear from you guys. And as you can see here, I'm in the pause menu, and I'm going to leave you guys now, but I'm going to leave you a little sweet treat, and anybody who played the first one is definitely going to recognize the menu music going on, so I encourage you to stick around and listen to it. It's great. If not, thanks for coming out, and I'll see you next time.